Right. So welcome back everyone to another episode of Chat with Dan here. Joining me today, what can I say? We have on the show the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only, the incredible Brittany. Brittany, how are you today?
I'm great, especially after that intro. Thank you.
Absolutely. What better way to have an incredible, super badass day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what
Oh my God, this is. I'm gonna send you some flowers in the mail.
I mean? Looking forward to it. Now, without furthermore, also, before we start, I do want to thank those who are tuning in. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. But also in the description below, you're gonna find all of Brittany's social media. Let's follow her. Let's share some love, and let's find out why she's super badass. And without furthermore, let's jump in. So, I want to start this whole conversation by going through the basics, which is what initially triggered this passion for acting. Was that, I don't know, a specific film, performance, something that sparked this whole passion to be like, you know what, this is where my path starts now?
It's kind of a lifelong story where I've always been doing it one way or another. And then eventually I started doing like community theater. I found my way there. But as a kid, it's my love of watching movies that led to me wanting to always be performing and entertaining and telling stories all the time. And I gotta thank the library because I used to fill up a tote bag full of DVDs and watch all of those movies, whether I knew what they were or not. And I've seen a lot of films. And there's so many more. I'm gonna die before I finish all of them. But it's my love of movies that led to my love of performance. But I was always up to something. I mean, I would go over to my cousin's house and I would create almost like a spooky story situation. I'd tell one cousin like she has to flicker the lights, and another cousin like, when I say this, I need you to bang on the wall from like the other side, and then I will be the narrator. I was always coming up with that kind of stuff. And then yeah, I found my way into a community theater as a elementary school student or middle school student, and I started doing like full plays, which then led to a serious talk with some theater college, like the big kids, the college students who were doing theater, and they had a serious conversation with me about maybe majoring in theater. So then I got into theater, and I did a lot of theater, and I have a degree in theater, 2 degrees. And but it was always because of how much I love films. But the craft of acting, I think you should study theater. Like most of the British actors, they all study theater and then they do film.
When you strip away roles, credits, and expectations, tell me who you are at your core.
I guess lately, how I would answer that today is I'm a kid who grew up because I still love roller coasters, and I still love like trying to explore and find new things. It's just the playground is a lot bigger and more expensive. And I love meeting like new people and making new friends. And I love just sort of like consuming life as much as I can. And I think I carry with me like who I always was. And I try to make her happy, basically. So it's like I'm an adult now. I'm a kid who grew up. And I think we all kind of are. Like if I really get into it with my friends after a long day or something, we might have this conversation. So I'm still just playing as much as I can. I don't want to get too serious about having this one wild and precious life.
I mean, we are all still kids, just that our toys and adventures are way more expensive
Yeah, or more dangerous.
and more
So
dangerous,
you be
for sure,
careful.
for sure, for sure. Now, early in your acting career, what did you believe your worth was tied to?
I do think there's, again, a lot of answers to this question, but one of them, I have like a specific memory, is being told that I was good by professors or directors, or I needed someone else to tell me that I was a good actor or that I what I did was good. And that is not the point. There's a specific memory I have where that came out. So if anybody has majored in theater, there's a lot of like workshopping things, and then people break down in class. Next thing you know, somebody's on the floor crying, and then, it's this big revelation for them as an artist, hopefully. And then there's people who break down like every week. So, and that's okay. But this was like a special workshop that you didn't have to take. And it was for Shakespeare because I like Shakespeare. I've done some Shakespeare. I'm still hoping to do more Shakespeare. And I was struggling with a speech that was Desdemona from Othello. And it was late at night because this is not our normal class, it's that extra workshop. So we're all tired and it's dark. And I'm trying to give the speech and I'm struggling. And I feel like everything I'm saying is crap. It's not authentic and it's just technical. And I could tell that it was boring. And we had Kevin Coleman, who's like one of the main teachers at the Shakespeare and Company. He was in charge of this workshop. And I started crying and I said, I just want to be good. And he got in my face and he said, "You don't get to be good. That's not what we do." And I'm like, I stopped crying, but like my cheeks are wet and I'm just like, okay, And I never forgot that. And sometimes when my friends, they're like, "I just don't know if I'm any good." And I'm like, we don't get to be good. That's not what we do. It's true. That cannot be you can't be out there being like, "Am I good?" Art is subjective, etc., etc. But that is something that I had to let go of.
I mean, and if you apply that into the daily life, you can't please everyone. You can't perform whatever you're doing in order to make someone feel better at it, because that's gonna end up bad and you're gonna be stressed the whole time because you're never gonna be able to reach that, let's face it. So it's better for you to feel good in what you're doing. And I think with that you can perform in better ways, and whoever who feels relate yeah, those who relate to it or who feels good or whatever, that's great. And those who
Mhm.
don't, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, just try to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Just try to be honest. And then if you are being honest, somebody else is probably going to resonate with it.
Now, during your whole acting career and as you were starting out in your early years, tell me, how did financial uncertainty shape your mindset during those early years?
Um, I mean, if it's free, it's me. That's one thing. But everybody feels that way, whether you're an actor or not. But I gotta say, financial uncertainty terrifies your parents. And it even terrified one of my high school friends, Anthony. He's like, "You're majoring in theater? What a waste." He's like, "You could do anything else." And yeah, like heck, I visited home this summer and I saw one of my aunts and she's like, "You're not a starving artist, are you? Like, tell me." And I'm like, "No, I'm doing well. I'm very lucky." But yeah, it shaped my path a lot, you know. Like as a kid, there's a lot of people who were like me. For example, when I was in kindergarten, elementary school, I went to this summer camp that was amazing. And we ran around, had a great time, and then for some reason the school decided like we're going to have like a talent show for each grade and we're going to choreograph dances and sort of it's basically like we were performing theater for fun for our parents. And my friend's mom, not my mom, but my friend's mom, has a video of me performing that I saw when I was in high school, and I look like I'm in the frickin' Mickey Mouse Club. Like I'm like going really hard, you know? And I'm like, "Mom," I call my mom and I'm like, "Why didn't you just move us to LA immediately?" Financially, that was not possible for us. And then of course, a lot of my stuff had to do with like what's financially possible. So I lived at home during college. It saved money. Fortunately, the the experience I had at my undergrad and the program that was available in that bubble of time gave me a lot of really good skills. You know, there's a lot of programs out there that don't teach you what I learned. And that's fortunate that I could live at home. And then I had a teacher tell me, you know, you should really consider right out of undergrad going to grad school to move away from your family life, live on your own. Also, you could get into a program that gives you like a living stipend and waives your tuition. Do not go into debt for acting education was her number one thing. And so that shaped how I moved on from there. Like I could have tried to move to LA or New York. You know, at that point I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, which market. It was always going to be LA, but I didn't know myself enough to know that. So I went to Tennessee and I got into a program there that at the time, I don't know where they stand now. They were one of the top 10 in the nation for getting your MFA. And I grew my skills and my training, and I got the opportunity to act in like equity theaters, which equity is, you know, the actors union for theatrical performance. And I also got away from home, so I got to be on my own and try to be a big girl out here. And then where am I going to go? You know, it was a post-COVID world, and I chose Los Angeles, and it was a big decision. And I told some of my best friend from childhood, I decided I'm going to LA. And she said to me, yeah, we always knew you were. And I'm like, okay, all right. Apparently I need therapy. But, and then you just make choices and then you try to grow into those choices. So a lot of my path, finances affected it. My talent has supported me. Trying to be a little smart has supported me. I've had real person jobs, of course. You know, I've worked in fast food. I've worked in a store that I would consider the fast food of retail. I've worked in like interior design places. That was fun. I loved working there. And then I worked a remote job as an administrative assistant, which was really great because I didn't have to commute, and a lot of that energy that goes into commuting and, you know, schedule, I could put into auditions. And now for this period of time, I'm able to fully support myself with acting, which is incredible. And hopefully the next step is I can support myself well enough to save money. It's a long answer, and I don't know if I fully answered your question, but finances are a real thing. And I'm still solving it. I'm still trying to be smart, but I just keep going and I keep growing. So like every year I keep track and I measure and I'm like, is the direction I'm headed in a supportable direction?
Was there a moment when things looked successful from the outside, but felt quite heavy on the inside?
Yeah, like all the time, I guess. This is a tough, like mentally, this is a tough profession to choose. And you really have to believe in yourself. And you have to believe in a lot of things about yourself. You have to believe in the way you look too. And it's so, you know, famous actors, they have stories of where someone's like, acting's not for you. And then they go on to be, in, you know, A-list celebrities. So it happens. Everybody has a different opinion where someone else might not think you're good enough. And you have to just know that you've got something. I mean, personally, like when I was in school, I worked really hard and I was hoping that I was good enough to be cast in shows. And, you know, I would get, this was grad school, I got some lead roles, it was really exciting. But there was a situation in my class where I was bullied every day, all day by one of my classmates. And I just felt more alone during those years of my life than I've ever felt. And I even considered dropping out of the program because I didn't want to have that coming at me every day. Like I felt, you know, this isn't healthy. But I also worked so hard to be there. So I didn't want to like let that person take that away from me because they decided that they were going to do this. So, well, one, I got a therapist, and then financially conscious, it was a person who was getting their PhD at the university. So it's like you paid like $10, you know? And I saw her and talked to her. And then I read a lot of books about the psychology of like adult workplace bullying and like this specific situation to help me understand what was going on and like know that what I was experiencing is not in my head, you know, stuff like that. And I grew so much as a person because of it. I had to really, like, I don't think that the same situation could happen to me now because I'm prepared. You know, I'm stronger in myself, et cetera, et cetera. But you wouldn't know it when I'm on stage singing as like the lead female, or when I'm in the operetta with everyone rolling around on the ground, you know, or when I'm the ghost of Christmas past and I'm sparkly and it's just such a beautiful costume. Like people think I've got it going on and it's all wonderful. And of course I was so happy in those performances. And there were so many good memories, but then I just felt so hated and unwanted and bad because of, I mean, if anyone who's been bullied before, they know how psychologically devastating it is. I did not know until it happened to me. Like, I think in high school and undergrad, I had an idea of what bullying was and that bullying's bad, but wow, is it? It's really hard. It's 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 the worst. I could go I could speak more on that, but I don't want to get too detailed in it. But that was happening while I was performing in like beautiful, amazing shows.
Do you think that sometimes things happen for a reason?
Definitely. I think I think everything matters and your choices matter. So everything that's ever happened to me that maybe at the time felt devastating and insurmountable, I'm here now and I've managed to get past it, and it grows me as a person and what I can handle. And I guess I got to give myself credit, and I'm proud of myself for pushing through, even though, you know, there was a lot of crying. There was so much crying. I think that happening has helped me handle a lot of situations that felt more minor now. Like they felt minor in the moment, but if that major thing hadn't happened, then maybe I would have broken down by those later things, you know? So, so yes.
I mean, maybe they did happen for a reason, but you took them as lessons in order to get better at it and continue moving. Because I mean, we all have here and other from friends, family members, people we knew at some point in our life, whatever, that because something happened in their life, they got stuck and they were not able to continue moving forward, and now they are in this kind of cycle in which they just can't move on. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, that everything is, every single thing it's different and it's hard and we're all different and all of that. And sure, I mean, there are certain type of stuff in which you can say, what will be the point for this? I totally get it. But yet again, I mean, I do think there are some other things that happen that it's up to you to take it. Yeah, on depending how you're gonna take it will be the outcome later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I could have seen myself as a victim and stayed stuck, feeling bad and down about it. But I guess I'm proud of myself. It's hard for me to say, but I am. That I read those books on the situation so that I could understand like that person's psychology, my psychology. And then I'm not even like mad at that person. I actually, based on what I understand about why this happened, how everything, I'm pretty sure the person who bullied me had like gone through a lot of abuse as a kid. And then that created certain I don't know these things, but there was a time where I tried to think about those things too. And people are like, have you looked them up on social media? Have you like looked at what they're doing? And I'm like, no, I have no idea what they're doing. Like I hope things are going well for them. but that's not a part of my life anymore. My life is right here, right now, and the people I love and the people I want to work with and the animals I love, and and that's peace.
What do you think the 10-year-old version of you would think about you right now?
So I guess that's fourth grade. Well, I think she'd be like, "Why aren't you famous?" You know? But also I think she'd be really excited. I think she'd think we're pretty cool and that we've done a lot and seen a lot of really cool stuff. So, yeah, I think she'd be into it. I think she'd be happy that I don't wear glasses anymore because she hated those. And I think she'd be surprised how much we look like our dad, you know? So, yeah. No, she'd be excited for her future at this point.
There you go. All right. Now moving to our halftime show. Quick 90
Oh,
quick speed round questions. Yes, no, or pass. Super simple. Gonna ask you a couple of questions in which you can only answer yes, no, or pass. You ready?
that's all I can say is yes, no, or pass. Okay.
Yeah. So, starting with the first one. Have you ever waited weeks for an answer that took seconds to say no?
Yes.
Have you memorized scenes that never made it past the audition room?
Yes.
Have you ever been told you were perfect, but still not right?
Yes.
Have you learned to live with uncertainty better than most people you know?
Yes.
Fair enough. Have you celebrated a win that looked very small to everyone else?
Yes, definitely.
Have you questioned your entire path while still loving the craft?
Yes.
Have you learned to separate rejection from self-worth?
No.
Do you think actors develop patience faster than most people?
Yes. You have to
Okay.
decide to do that.
Has acting taught you more about yourself than success did?
Yes.
And do you believe this journey has made you stronger in quiet ways?
Yes.
Okay. And a bonus one, can you cry on cue?
No.
There you go. Now returning from our halftime show into our regular transmission, tell me, what inner battle do you still face today that people might not see?
Yeah, that one's hard because there's a lot. Like if you name it, it's in there. But I definitely think something that my friends and I talk about a lot right now is this sort of inner battle of not getting like surgery on your face, you know, and not taking medicine to like be skinnier, you know, like just trying to celebrate what makes you unique and what makes you beautiful as you are. There's so much pressure and messaging coming from within you, coming from what you're seeing, coming from social media, coming from a lot of pictures of red carpet events that make people start to wonder if they need to take more like drastic measures to be what they think other people want them to be to work as an actor. And I have friends and stuff who have had stuff that they've done and whatnot, and it's like I love them. You make your own decisions about yourself. Go off. You want to go off. But there's a lot of situations where it comes from a place of insecurity or feeling like you're not enough, or feeling like there's only one kind of beautiful, and you got to work hard to be that one kind of beautiful. And I think that's like really boring as an artist. And I'm not saying that I may never do it. I have no idea what future me is going to decide to do. It feels like a fight, like an actual fight. Sometimes there's highs and lows, and sometimes there's lows where you're like, yeah, maybe I should straighten out my nose. I don't know. Or maybe if I had bigger tits. Sorry I said that. But just all these things, and it's like, well, where is this coming from? But yeah, I think on the whole, I I just hope that we get more examples, and I try to be an example of a face that, like, this is my face and this is like what I look like. And I love when there's actors who have diversity of features instead of all of us trying to look the exact same definition of what is attractive.
Do you think it's the fault of the industry that is forcing actors to look in a specific way, regardless if you're male or female?
I definitely think there's this huge cultural thing that is affecting everybody. And there's a lot of articles, saying, oh no, like heroin chic is coming back. Oh no, And I'm like, is it coming back, or are the articles like going to make it come back? Um, but definitely, it is real. I had an acting teacher that like had us all line up and said, I'm going to tell you this, it's not going to sound good, but you either have to be thin or you have to be fat. You can't be in between, because if you're fat, you'll be those roles, and if you're thin, you'll be those roles. And some of you are so close to one or the other, and I'm like, that there's a reason I've never forgotten that, because it was effed up. And then, like, one of my friends was just asked by a casting director if she could lose 5 kilograms before traveling to act in a role and stuff like that. And, there's roles that describe your body in the description. Like, there's roles that are like, she's gorgeous with a killer body, but an approachable beauty. It's like, what? And you just have to be like, that's me, and just do it and be like, you know what? That's gonna be me. And you can't compare yourself to the other actresses, or if you don't get the role, another actress gets the role. It's like, no, that girl's your friend. That girl's your comrade. We're all in this together, and you just have very little control. I know some people that think that, like, if they change their hair color, they'll get more roles because, and it's like, maybe, but also, do you like the color that your hair is? You should feel like you're yourself. Basically, where's it coming from? And I do feel like there's a lot of outside influence making people feel like they're not enough and this is gonna improve their life. And again, there's a lot of people who have had stuff done who say it has. And I don't want to argue with them. That's their experience. And there's nothing wrong with making these decisions. I'm starting to get a little nervous about how many people feel like they're not enough as they are.
Now, as your definition of success has evolved, tell me what matters more now than booking the role?
There is a thing my friend said. It's a triangle, and you should have, I think, at least one of them. Like, does it feed your art? Does it feed you financially? Or I can't remember the third thing. Does it feed your art? Does it feed you financially? Or does it feed like your career trajectory, you know? Because sometimes things that'll fuel your career trajectory, they don't pay you, but they matter. And sometimes something that is not going to feed your career and also doesn't pay is going to feed your, like, creative artistic soul. And then sometimes it financially is going to literally feed you, but it's not necessarily going to feed your creative artistic soul, and it's not necessarily going to further your career. It is a job that you're taking. And so it's like, it's got to be one of those things. If it's none of those things, don't do it. But so that's fun. That's like a thing people say, and I just wanted to share that in case you've never heard that before. But for me, yeah, it's similar to that triangle. It's, I want to have fun. And I do. I have so much fun with people. Like, if you've got a good group of people, even if the script is kind of rough, we're gonna have a great time. That's cast and crew. Like, the crew cracks me up. Like, we're all friends. Also, exploring the human condition is so rewarding. So there's a reason that I love Shakespeare still. I was open to learning about it. I went to a high school that, we had to read some of it, and then I studied it in college, and now somehow I've become one of those people that can read it and just know exactly what they're saying. And sometimes I'll look up in the lexicon what that word meant back then versus what it means now. But and I know how much I don't know, so don't think that I think I know everything. But those speeches hit. Sometimes you're saying something and it could have been right out of your diary. It's about what people go through and are still going through with like interpersonal relationships, with love, with jealousy, with revenge. And so studying that in so many different forms, like Chekhov plays, it's like that's a totally different time period, totally different part of the world, and yet I'm still reading these characters and feeling the emotions that they're going through and relating to them. And then you get a script for a vertical or for a feature film, and you find that in there too. Like it's like, why would she say that? Oh, I know why she would do that. And that's really cool. It's really cool to connect to like what we experience as humans, what we have in common, why we do what we do. It's, to me, it is endlessly fascinating and it's so rewarding. I understand myself better when I'm working on this type of art. And as I grow, like as I get older, as I go through different things, new characters unlock or like new understandings open up that maybe previously I had seen and not connected to, but now I do, which is awesome. So I'm a bit of a nerd, but anyways. And then the last thing that matters the most to me, more than booking the role, is like in an audition, is was I just being honest and vulnerable and truthful? Like, is that me actually expressing this scene and like connecting to my scene partner and going through the circumstance? Like, and if I have done that and I've felt it, and sometimes it feels terrible, like if it's a horrible scene, you're exhausted, you don't feel good because it was an awful thing that you just had to experience. But you did it and you left it out there, and it was work that you believe was real and true for yourself. And if you don't get the role, you have no regrets. You wouldn't have changed a thing, and you can be proud of that. You being me when I say that. So I guess that's my answer to that question.
Mhm. We're gonna drop the mic because you're killing it here. So
Oh my God. Maybe
epic,
I'll send
epic.
you a edible arrangement as well if you like chocolate covered fruit because you're just saying nice things.
I might take that as well too. Sounds good. I love it.
I told my mom, I said, don't give me, if she comes to see a play, I was like, don't give me flowers. Can you get me like chocolate covered strawberries or like apples dipped in caramel or something? I love fruit.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Now, years from now, what truth about your acting journey do you hope people truly understand?
There's a lot of things that I think about. It's like three things. One, everything I did counted. So even if it was a student film that I wasn't paid for and that was never even finished and I never saw, it counted. That's literally how I ended up starting to do vertical dramas. Is a student director from a student film that never saw the light of day worked with me on that and then ended up producing verticals and reached out to me to audition for a role. And it's like, so that student film really mattered. And little things like I volunteered as a model for a makeup school, and through that I like ended up getting more opportunities to do modeling for people, and I get more photos, and now I have artist friends who we want to collaborate on all sorts of stuff. It's like every little thing, even if it's not gonna make you famous, even if it's not, gonna make you rich, it's real and it matters. And it has mattered for me, everything I've done. And then also who I am has mattered a lot. So that kind of goes with everything counts. But I've had to take care of my mental health, which we've talked about. I've also had to decide, like, am I on the side of good or evil? Um, I've I've had to grow as a person so many times. I've had to admit that I've been wrong, and I've had to sort of literally like say to myself what I stand for. Like if I don't want to do something, if I want to be selfish and not help someone, I'll literally be like, what would a good friend do? And then I do that. So who you are counts, not just what you do, What you do matters, who you are matters. Who I've been has made a big difference in my life. And then the last thing is that I have not done this alone. There are so many people. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm gonna cry. Um, yeah. There are so many people that are responsible for me even being this far. And I know that. What is this? Am I getting it's like I'm accepting an Oscar. I'm crying, you know, but I said I can't cry on cue. So if I'm crying, on camera, it's because I'm feeling it. But if someone's like, cry, it's not going to come out. But, anyways, I don't know if anyone's really done it alone, but I definitely have the support from people who didn't even have to help. That's how I've achieved anything. You always have to give yourself credit. I have to give myself credit for sticking with it, for being strong, for continuing. But even in getting through the school bullying, there are people in my heart that I know are part of why I was able to do that. Even though I was so isolated, there's like a handful. So those are the three things. Everything you do counts. Who you are counts. Everything I've done counts. Who I am counts. And I have not done this alone.
And in general, like what motivates you? We all have those days that basically we just want to quit. It's inevitable, happens to all of us. So, what usually, yeah, like how you stay positive on one of those days.
Sometimes I just put myself in the bathtub, to be honest. Like, I was just saying this is like, if it's really bad, it's like, get in the bath, it's self-care stuff. I talk, I talk to a friend, I call my mom, so it's like, who do you have that's a support line that you can reach out to? That's something. I like to go out for walks or hikes, so I move my body, or like I'll go to the gym. There's a lot of people at the gym who'll say the gym is their therapist. I get it. Scientifically, it'll make you feel better. I make sure I get enough sleep. That's another thing. Sometimes when I'm really sad and feeling really hopeless, I'm like, go to bed. You're tired. You need to go to bed. You might feel differently in the morning. And sometimes I do a little something creative that is for me and not for anyone else, and is not with some sort of goal of entertaining people or a goal of bringing me fame. Like, honestly, right now, there's a small ceramic figurine of a witch that I'm painting just because it's a little artistic thing. I got that for free from a friend, by the way. She was cleaning out craft stuff, and she said, "Do you want this little ceramic witch?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." So it's taking care of yourself, taking care of you, the kid in you, and reaching out to your support system and taking care of your body. That's what gets me through. And then I have to be like, all right, let's keep fighting. I believe in me, even if part of me doesn't believe in saying that right now.
That's normal, you know.
Yeah. And talking to other people about it makes you realize it's normal. I think, talking about things, talking about feeling hopeless, talking about, oh my gosh, like talking about having like passive suicidal thoughts, talk to your friends about it, because I'll tell you, like, they're all going to be like, yep, been there. And then it'll open up a little bit. It'll lighten a little bit, because you know that this is normal, you're not alone, and that there is an afterwards. There is a beyond this feeling.
The more you accept your feelings and the more open you are to it, the better it will be, and the more you talk about them when you don't feel on your A game, that's fine. I mean, I do think that we all need those days too every now and then. I mean, it's part of the growing experience in order for you to actually enjoy the good ones. And I mean, of course, it's important for once you're having those feelings, make sure you get over them and continue moving forward. I mean, you can get stuck. So, but yet again, I
Yeah.
mean, it's part of the whole thing. I do the same thing whenever I have one of those days. Either I just throw my phone away, close my laptop, take a nap, watch a movie, do something that has nothing to do regarding what I'm planning, like like something personal. And if it takes me one day, it takes me one day. I don't have like this rush or anything, because if you have like this rush and all of that. It's not gonna be real. It's gonna look rushed. Take one step at a time. The world will still be there with or without you. So why not focusing on you instead and then continue? So
Yeah. And also sometimes all of these things, like if it's happening over and over again, then it's like, okay, I need to really change something about the way my life is, the way I'm organizing my life. Like maybe I'm not having enough time to myself, maybe I'm overscheduling or maybe I'm overcommitting to plans and things. Also, maybe I have too much clutter and I need to simplify, clean things out. Maybe I haven't been eating well and that affects how you feel and how you think too. So it's like, what needs to change? What can I do to like give me a little more mental peace? And is there something that I need to cut out of my life? So there's that. And then I also think that sometimes people are facing these challenges and I've considered, get a therapist if you can. It's not easy. They don't make it easy. But somebody said to me that finding a good therapist is like dating because you have to go through you have to find the right match, I guess. But it is worth it. Getting somebody to talk to, a professional to talk to is good. And then also, maybe a medication avenue is something that you should explore as well. It might help with if it could be a brain chemistry thing. Like I have family members who take prescriptions, and it's not lost on me that they're related to me, so I should be aware. So, and there's no shame in it. There's no shame in that journey to like feeling good about who you are and where your life is going. Just take action.
yeah,
Don't do nothing. That won't make you feel better.
you can solve this type of situations on your own. I've seen it with close family members that they just can't that they just don't want to take help because they think they can actually get well by themselves. And every
Or
time
they
that
can
that
ignore it. They
yeah, yeah,
ignore it.
yeah. And then whenever that happens, I'm like, that's not gonna happen. You can speak with whoever you want, and it's gonna tell you you need help because that's the way it is. And that doesn't make you crazy. That doesn't make you weak or something like that. It's just the way it is. It's fine. And I do encourage people that if you really have this really, you know, dark, messed up stuff and you can't get through to it, go for some help to it, and eventually you're gonna feel much better because sometimes it was either you said perhaps it's something in the brain that you actually need medication, and once you start taking action to it, boom, everything feels great. Or sometimes it's just one thing that you haven't done properly, and once tune it up a little bit, boom, everything you start to feel much better at it. It's just the way it is. And yeah,
I think that sums it up really well. It's more like get curious. Try to get curious about what might make that small difference.
totally.
Yeah.
Yep. 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 And you know what? My last question here.
Mm.
So, what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
Oh my God. I don't know. Even badasses cry. It takes strength to be vulnerable. The kid who grew up. Or Brittany talks about edible arrangements. No, Brittany talks about fruit covered in chocolate.
What about, just have a quick idea. What about fruit, acting, and therapy?
No. Or you could be like, she can't cry on cue. What? It could be clickbaity.
As you wish.
Um, but it's like because that's not what I do. I cry because I'm crying. That's a whole nother conversation. But
What about,
oh, you
what
don't get
about,
to be good.
yeah, you don't get to be good. Yeah, it's catchy. I'll take it.
Oh my God. But
You don't
also,
get to
what were
be
you gonna
good.
say? Because I definitely just jumped
There
in.
was something between those lines for sure.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
get to be
You
good.
don't get to be good. I mean, who knows? I mean, that sounds like a franchise to me. That sounds like the title of your next bio book, bio film.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
that's
maybe,
following me around for the rest of my
yeah,
life.
maybe
I
years
say,
from now on, once you are gonna create your own biopic, you're gonna be like, I need a title, and then you could be like, oh, I already have one cooked years ago. Here it is.
mm-hmm.
There's like
And
an
then
investment going.
the readers get to the chapter where I tell them about that time in school, and they're like, the title of the book. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
what can I
credit you
say?
for that.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, flowers, chocolate, and now you're gonna credit me for that? This is epic. I love it.
Yeah, no, I definitely, maybe, I mean, do you have, I'll message you.
Sounds like a plan. And
Hmm.
I mean, at the end, what can I say? You know, the fact you're doing this, it's epic, it's badass. I mean, you're not also creating cool, cool characters, cool content. I mean, besides that, you're also showing us that dreams are possible. You're also showing us that it's okay to be vulnerable, that it's okay to cry, that it's okay to not feel at your best. You know, it's okay for that. You know, and you also are sharing that it's okay to get help. You know, it doesn't make you weak or it doesn't make you crazy or something like that. It's okay. And when we combine all of that, it's something super positive. And I think this positive vibe you're carrying, it really shines, and it can really make, I mean, I'm super sure that it can really make someone feel better at it, because you're also showing dreams are possible. You know, like all of that, it's incredible. And I think with this vibe you have is something we desperately need, especially now in these crazy days. It's epic. And now I will discover why you're badass. So mission accomplished. There you go.
Thank you.
No,
I
thank
definitely feel really positive after this chat we had. But yeah, you never know how a conversation exactly what it's going to turn out to be, but this was really meaningful, I think, for me too, just to process as I thought about answering your questions. Good questions. Really
you.
good questions.
Thank you. That really means a lot. And yeah. I want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But by this point, come on. I mean, isn't it obvious now why she's super badass? Let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Brittany. And again, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep rocking. Keep kicking ass. And I'll definitely be seeing you in the next one. There you go.